2019, the Monday Night Raw season premiere. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Justin LaBar. Matt Morgan should be along shortly. And we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Justin, how many times do you reckon tonight they said the word season premiere on tonight's episode?
I counted 172. What about you?
More or less, give or take a few.
And by the way, why do you and I always get the jobber entrance? We come out, lights out, no music. We stand and wait in the ring and wait for Matt Morgan to make the blue pin. You know, he gets the pyro and all the big entrance because Pyro's back tonight, huh?
It is. And then, hey, they're lifting things from Impact tonight. We saw with Team Flair, Team Hogan in KSA going down in the next show on Halloween. Oh, man. So tonight was the promise of change. With every season premiere, with every season comes a new chapter. And we opened tonight, I thought, pretty spectacularly. A lot of people would say, oh, Brock Lesnar showing up on Monday Night Raw, he's going to face Kofi on Friday on SmackDown. Oh no, Brock, this is what we didn't like. Tonight I would say, well, this was the best Brock. Certainly up there with him with the Brock box and the Money in the Bank briefcase out there dancing. I thought tonight him destroying Rey Mysterio and then destroying poor Dominic was a fantastic start to the show.
Yeah, you know, look, obviously Brock did not do, his actions were nothing original by Brock definition, right? We've seen him come out and just destroy people. We've seen him destroy, we've seen him F5 announcers. So that was not original, but look, they advertised that Brock was going to be making a special appearance on this show, despite the fact that he's going to be wrestling on Friday. So Brock coming out can't be like, oh my God, why did they do this? You knew he was going to show up. Quite frankly, I think it actually was a creative way to use him, all things considered. I mean, what else do you expect Brock to do? Brock's not going to show up and give you poetry, right? Brock's going to show up.
I would love that. I would love if Brock Lesnar came to the ring and said, Paul, buddy, it's Rosh Hashanah. Go celebrate with your family. I don't need you tonight. I'm out here tonight to speak from Brock's heart and speak Brock's truth.
And Glenn, the fact that you say that just furthers my point. We're not going to expect Brock to come out.
You don't think Brock is familiar with the calendar of the Jewish High Holy Days?
He might be because of the company he keeps, all right? But you're expecting Brock to come out and be the beast. So, you know what? All things considered, you know, Ray comes out, he's, you know, which is rare. We haven't seen Ray start at Raw. Ray comes out, street clothes, trying to set the scene for this match he has later on, gets interrupted. Brock interrupting Ray. What's going on here? Brock attacks Dominic. God, was it Raj a few weeks ago talking about how we need to have Randy Orton attacking
Raj Giri
kids?
Really wants to see some children get beat up.
Yeah, I mean, domestic violence run amok in WWE Universe here. You know, look, I mean, this was pretty. You know, I don't know how many bumps Dominic's taken in his young training career, but
half of them were tonight.
But this is pretty brutal. So, yeah, I thought. Look, I thought what they did was fine. It did drag on. I mean, when you, my wife was actually watching the first third of Raw with me for various reasons, and you know, even she kind of noted like it had been 20 or 25 minutes, and we had seen that opening segment, took a break, and then come back and seen the recap of that. So, I mean, it did slow things up some, but it was intense. It was personal. It got more heat behind Brock Lesnar, who, quite frankly, get all the heat, get all the asshole chance you want behind him, because he's likely going to go ahead and take the title off the beloved Kofi Kingston.
I thought he was going to take the Universal tonight as well. The Universal title, given the way that things were headed. It was something, man. It was a hell of an opening. I think it got people's attention. I would argue this is the true good use of Brock Lesnar. He's out there when he's having fun, when he's involved. It's great. When I'm sick of, and no disrespect, to Paul Heyman, but when it's Heyman out there and Brock's sitting there doing that thing and doing the little dance and flexing the pecs, and Heyman's just going on and on and on, that is the poor use of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar coming out there and beating up children, as you said. Hey, Brock out there dancing. Let's use this guy in different ways rather than just standing there mean mugging the camera and smirking occasionally. Matt Morgan.
Speaking of big guys dancing, Matt Morgan, bust a move for us.
What's up, you guys?
What did you think of this opening tonight and how they used Brock?
That's what I think of it. It was unexpected. I didn't expect that, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're hearing he's going to be in the debut of SmackDown. He's going to beat Kofi Kingston for the world title. That's all that's been in my head concerning Brock Lesnar. So I thought this was a very pleasant surprise, and a very good kickoff to Raw.
Yeah. Interesting that they didn't do the match with Rey Mysterio and Seth tonight after building that up last week. That was a main event, or it was before the main event last week, but it was like the prime spot in the show that they built to all night. The fatal 5-way elimination for the number one contender for the Universal title.
They did. And this is another example, I guarantee it, because he's Brock Lesnar and the company loses their bleep anytime it concerns Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one thing that will always, they can have like 20 different write-ups for their show. They'll make 21 if they hear Brock, they can use Brock.
And to use the season premiere analogy with this, that there have been a lot of TV shows, not great ones, but as a fan, nerd juice here, how many times does a TV show in its season finale build up some big mystery or some big thing, and then the season premiere, they're like, oh yeah, forget about that. We thought we had a good idea for it. We're just going to do this new thing now. That's what it felt like with Brock destroying Rey and saying,
that's exactly how I took it. Not necessarily a finale or whatnot, or a season premiere, but that was the feeling I had too.
Yeah, that was more worthwhile than giving us a main event match. Yes. Now, so yeah, he beat up Rey, he beat up Dominic, he beat up I think an official in the mix somewhere.
he beat up Dominic, he beat up Pat Buck, and he attacked Dave Finlay or Finlay.
Oh, I didn't recognize Pat Buck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Pat Buck.
Man, I haven't seen Pat Buck, man, since I was living in an apartment and I was just about to start with TNA. I think I was still in Japan.
Somebody correct me on the live chat, but I'm pretty sure the first suit official he attacked was Pat Buck.
Mills Lane, great name. You're not showing your age at all there, dude. Yeah, that would have been great, actually. I was hoping for an attack on Brock Lesnar by The Fiend, but they're smart enough to make us pay for it.
Yeah.
I think they are.
So we went from that, which was really like the first 25 half hour of the show.
They took a lot. They break, came back, rehashed it a few times. It did slow things up.
Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss with Becky Lynch on commentary. Now, Sasha, did you guys catch the Twitter drama between Sasha and Seth Rollins over the weekend?
No, what did we miss?
Okay,
I thought Seth deleted his Twitter.
Seth did delete his Twitter, partially because some shit he got into with Sasha fans.
Tell us.
So what happened was Seth tweeted out, I'm going all the way back to this. Okay, here we go. Seth tweeted out about his match with Rey. This is a match I've been looking forward to my entire life. The fact that I'm defending the Universal title on the Raw season premiere against Rey Mysterio in 2019 is mind-boggling. Even 6 days out from Hell in a Cell and Bray Wyatt, I'll empty the tank for one of the greatest ever. An hour later, Sasha Banks tweets about her and Alexa Bliss. This is a match I've been looking forward to my entire life. The fact that I'm wrestling one half of the tag team champs on the Raw season premiere against Alexa Bliss in 2019 is mind-boggling. Even 6 days out from Hell in a Cell and Becky Lynch, I'll empty the tank for one of the greatest ever.
What?
She's just straight plagiarizing everybody. That's her new gimmick. That should be her new character. The plagiarist.
I thought originally
Patty over there.
Remember
she had to have been trolling him because she's a good troll, my friend. She trolled me really good the other day with hashtag the mayor. I told you about that.
No, wait, what happened with this?
She's a good troll. This was a while ago with the whole blueprint shit she kept going back and forth with. And one of her hashtags said, the blueprint, the standard, and then like the mayor, hashtag the mayor. I popped huge. I shot her a message. I was like, that's an amazing job trolling. You got to give credit where it's due when there's some good trolling going on. But this has to be trolling. This cannot be her passing this off as her own idea. No one was going to see this. Come on.
Well, I thought, remember Andrade for NXT on USA copied and pasted a tweet, and it even said, like, as a former NXT champ, do you think you can give this some promotion? He copied the instruction for the tweet they wrote for him in the tweet.
Oh,
I thought it was like that. I thought this was WWE Social writing these, and they just copied and pasted them.
Tell me they don't have somebody doing that for these wrestlers.
I'm sure they try. I don't know if they do it, but I'm sure they try.
That's the whole connection. You get to do whatever you want to do with your character, with these fans. Are you kidding me? That's an opportunity to get yourself over even more.
Well,
not take away by having them fill in the blank.
Raj isn't on here, but I know he does some stuff with Ryback, and just ask Ryback about the social control that WWE wanted when he was there.
Hold on, time out for a second. What's up with Raj Giri? Can't be on our podcast. He's doing his BFF Ryback. He's on there like all the time.
Well, look at Ryback's other alternative.
I get touche.
No, but all jokes aside, dude, Raj is straight hashtag D riding apparently. So let's let him enjoy himself, and while he forgets us little people.
Cue the blue chew.
Yeah, not tonight, folks. Not tonight. But soon. There.
Quit D riding and get your ass back on the show, Raj.
Yes. Anyhow, so tonight, after all that build up, Sasha looking forward to the match her entire life against Alexa Bliss.
In all honesty, I think Raj could have been on tonight, but I'm on tonight because I'm not going to be here Wednesday. So I think he could have been. I think I
can't do that now. We just went in freaking 2 feet deep. You can't do that now. No.
You got to commit, Justin. Commit to the bit.
Pot committed to the bit. Never mind that.
Glenn's the only one who joins in on my bits.
So we had like half a match tonight. Becky Lynch was out there on commentary. She was yelling at Sasha, taunting her. Sasha won this pretty easily. This was kind of a nothing match. But a weird choice though, don't you think, for like the first match of the season premiere, and they built it up ahead of time?
What was so weird about it?
It was kind of nothing, you know. And here you have Alexa, formidable competition.
Yeah, that's why this decisive win was big.
Okay. And
it was good for Sasha because she came back with all this steam and edginess to her and all this other crap. And they're beating, like, she needs to beat everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think she should be nowhere near Becky Lynch currently. And that's why they had a throwaway at the pay-per-view, because they booked themselves into a corner with that. Neither girl could lose, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and they did do tonight for a go-home show in Hell in a Cell. They really built up Sasha versus Becky, and they built up Seth versus The Fiend. I didn't feel like there was much build for anything else.
No, me either.
Yeah, kind of weird, because Hell in a Cell is,
they've put so much focus on building to this week with the Raw season premiere, and more importantly, the SmackDown move to Fox. There's not that much advertised for Hell in a Cell, considering we're 6 days away.
I'll be honest, it feels like they were just, with this whole season premiere talk, was just placating USA.
No, that's true.
Because USA's got to be sitting there going, what the hell? Every freaking channel we turn on, all we do is see SmackDown ads for coming to Fox. Everywhere I look, that's all I see. What the hell? We've been partners with you for years. Can we get some love?
Well, even USA is getting some love, but USA on Monday nights, because it's either everything's going to Fox on Fridays, or it's even NXT, 2 hours Wednesday, 2 hours Wednesday. So like Monday was really lacking. So I think this was a way, Matt, yeah, you're right, just to kind of like boost Monday night's ego on USA. We're going to give it a season premiere tag, even though.
No, wait, Justin, say it like Vince. Vince hyping up that it's the season premiere.
It's the season premiere of Monday Night Raw.
New commentary tonight. We should talk about this. Who's the new booth, Justin, for people that are not familiar with all three voices tonight?
Play-by-play, you got Vic Joseph. This is a guy that's got a lot of mainstream sports experience. Cleveland Browns halftime show. Done a lot of baseball. Went on and did some independent wrestling. Did House of Hardcore with Tommy Dreamer. He's done 205 Live. Voice of NXT UK. Now he's the Monday Night Raw voice. Dio Madden, former Brennan Williams, who was a Houston Texans offensive lineman. He bounced around a little bit in the NFL. Nothing really materialized there. Went to NXT. Got trained by Booker T. Went to NXT. Has transitioned to announcer, and then of course Jerry the King Lawler, the veteran there with King. So brand new 3-man squad right now.
Very different.
Yeah,
very different.
It started off quite rough, I thought.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Corey, to me, is invaluable. I know people have gotten down on him since. To me, that guy is so valuable to that company.
Yeah, I agree.
Vic certainly he kind of stayed in a narrow lane. He didn't try to do too much. He got more and more comfortable as it went on. Madden, I feel like, wanted to speak more, but just didn't want to overstep. And look, and the King, Lawler is a Hall of Famer. He's got a highlight reel in the ring. He's got a highlight reel at his peak as a commentator on in that regard. But he has become a parody of himself. I hate to say that, but he's become a parody of himself, a little bit, saying the same old jokes. And I think it's because he flourished back in the days where it was fast and loose. Now it's a much more sterile, hit the mark, hit the time kind of.
Having Vince in your ear, I couldn't even fathom what those two new guys they've been dealing with.
Well, they've
heard the horror tales, but tonight they had to go through it.
Well, even beyond Matt, Vince in his ear, obviously,
Not Jerry,
King,
the other two.
King, oh yeah, but I'm saying for King can't make the same jokes he used to. It's just
No, and there's no openings for him either. Before, Jim Ross used to set him up all the damn time.
yeah, it doesn't help either. King doesn't. I mean, there was much of what we watched tonight that Jerry Lawler was watching for the first time. He had never seen any heavy machinery before.
Oh my god, dude, he's not been watching. Of
He
course.
had no idea that the Caterpillar was coming. There was a lot of things that he was watching for the first
In
time.
his defense, he does what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ride off into the sunset. And I know when I left wrestling, I didn't watch it for the longest.
Yeah.
before
It could have they could have just had a Jerry Lawler soundboard tonight with clips from the video games and like past commentary.
That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is though. I still like Jerry out there. I don't know why. I know tonight wasn't good though.
He gives, his name on there again. When Vic and Madden are so unknown, relatively speaking, he gives a credibility factor. I don't know if he's the long-term solution. I don't even like three-man.
Change all three. I mean, I thought that was pretty ballsy.
Yeah. I don't like three-man live for football, for wrestling, for anything. I don't like three-man commentary.
No, two is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. So we got a lot to talk about, including what they said during the Heavy Machinery versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler match, which we talked about specifically last week that they shouldn't do. They did tonight, and we're going to cover that in a moment. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of this episode, which is AEW.
AEW. Why don't you start it off with that?
AEW, my sweet, sweet AEW. All Elite Wrestling, a new league rises on Wednesday, October 2nd at 8 p.m. So on Wednesday, October 2nd on TNT, get ready for the revolution with All Elite Wrestling. It's the most exciting professional wrestling in the last decade. This century. I'll go further because 2019, that's 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
Made for wrestling fans by the wrestlers themselves, AEW flies higher, hits harder, and with their all-inclusive roster of superstars, they are breaking all boundaries. Chris Jericho, Cody and Brandy Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Nyla Rose, and more. All Elite Wrestling, a new league rises Wednesday, October 2nd at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central, only on TNT. Matt Morgan, can you believe it's finally upon us, the launch of AEW Wednesday nights?
When you want something so bad, like this for me has been like Christmas Day, for a year out, and every single day. That's what it's felt like, but it's finally here. I'm stoked, especially having to be on TNT. I've been trying to keep up with every single PR event they've been doing. Cody and Brandy both have done an amazing job. I watched them on the Rich Eisen show. Mm-hmm. Promoting the show, did a great job in that. He's very well spoken. He's incredibly well spoken, and he's the guy to have out there. They got the right guy out there doing the PR for them, in my opinion, and making all the stops and really hyping up the show and explaining the difference between this and other, and let's say a WWE. They do a good job of doing that, I think, and differentiating their brand verbally. And that's not necessarily so easy to do when you're talking to people that don't know that much about wrestling, like a Rich Eisen or someone like that, right?
Yeah.
They think it's all the same. So, again, this is super athletic wrestling at its finest. And I, for a big galoot, love that type of wrestling. So I'm excited to watch it because they do a bunch of shit that I could never do.
Oh, absolutely. And Justin, maybe you appreciate the nerdiness of this a little bit more than Matt does, but these drawings they commissioned of having the DC Comics artists draw the All Elite wrestlers that they've been putting out on Twitter.
What?
So there's like Cody and Pharaoh, there's Nyla, there's Brandy. It's really amazing artwork.
I've seen Jericho's, I've seen Moxley's.
Did DC Comic Book people do it?
Yeah, they had the DC comic artists put this together. So All Elite Wrestling launches Wednesday, October 2nd, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central on TNT. And we thank All Elite Wrestling for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Now, Wednesday night, when All Elite Wrestling goes off the air on the East Coast, we will be live with our coverage of that and NXT. So be sure to tune in for that this Wednesday. And as Justin mentioned earlier, Raj Giri will be here Wednesday with me and Matt. So
yeah, right.
He has to because I won't be here. So
yeah. Hey, you never know. So Heavy Machinery took on Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the Raw Tag Team titles tonight, and Roode and Ziggler retained. But what was interesting about this is, what did we say last week about what the danger is of calling Chad Gable short if you've got a lot of other guys the same height on the roster? So here we've got Otis and Tucker, and tonight they straight up low key called Otis fat tonight.
Low key.
Well, no, they said with Fat Bastard, they say it looks like he's about to say "Get in my belly," which is the character Fat Bastard from Austin Powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If there was a world in
Yes.
which, especially if it's a heel or a villain, okay, that's saying something along those lines, I think in the world of wrestling, you need to play it up to stereotypes. I really do. Because it makes you hate that character that much more. It makes you want to see him get punched in the face that much more.
But that's not
when it's coming from baby faces, though.
But that's not the danger. But the danger is that if you're going to call out Otis with that and be like, oh yeah, his body type, then later in the show, you got the Viking Raiders, Kevin Owens, Killian Dane. You want to be Samoa Joe?
That's a good point. As soon as you started going, I was like, oh crap, I see what you're saying.
That's why you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't call out one and be like, oh no, that other guy's a monster and cool, but this tub of lard over here, tons of fun. You can't do that.
And for them not to think that fans are smart enough to ask these questions is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, again, when I stuttered, I remember telling Vince in his office 6 months ago, I was not stuttering. What are we going to tell people? Did I get hit by a car? Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. That's for me to worry about. You know, I tell them what to think. You know, I mean, dead serious. So it just goes to show you, like, they're just so myopic in what their one thing is in that moment in time. And to hell with the repercussions and trickle-down effect it can have for everybody else on their show. They don't think that way sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you can't have criticism of superstars, but I'm just saying it's like when you have all these guys with this size.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to build as legit. I don't think it's a wise idea. And I think that's where the commentary tonight, we'll talk about this in a second, but and Heavy Machinery had a pretty decent showing up until when they lost.
They usually do.
Yeah, no, I thought tonight, and the crowd was behind them, which is why it was even kind of weirder. But when the Viking Raiders were out there, this was almost the worst kiss of death. When was it Dio Madden or someone being like, well, they're not LARPers. You know, I'm a LARPer and they're not LARPers. It was just like, oh, dude, like how uncool.
I didn't know what a LARPer is.
LARPer stands for live action role players. Like people that go to Ren Fair and pretend they're in like medieval times.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny, but again, the Viking Raiders, we think they look silly as shit.
Yeah.
But don't have commentary saying that they look silly.
I agree.
You know?
No, you're right. If that was me out there, I'd be irate. But
yeah, commentary's job is to sell the talent in the ring. Sell them as a good guy, sell them as a bad guy. But don't ever be like, oh, I know they look silly, you know, but they didn't follow it up.
Taz would cover for me all the time. Taz, during my matches, if you go back and listen,
yeah,
he would start to like laugh because I'd get stuck on a stuttering word on purpose and then replace it with a different word. It was to be comical. And he'd start to laugh, but he'd like, you know, I better watch it. You know what I mean? I got to see this guy backstage and he'll eat my lunch. You know, he'll always do something like that to protect himself from completely dying laughing at something, and hurting my persona, if you will. But you're right. To have the announcers, let's be honest, it's happened in WWE for years. I always thought it was very, very horrible. I think it's rude, stupid.
No, I agree.
John L.
So I thought tonight, look, despite any critiques that we've had, and
for those who are only listening to the audio version, John L's comment just went on the screen and said, "How long until Sasha Banks starts stuttering?" I can't let the audio audience not get that joke.
That's right. I always forget it.
Yeah. We've debated Heavy Machinery and the merits pro and con with the silliness of their act, the way they've been booked, et cetera, et cetera. But that's the thing. It's like commentary tonight because they're getting over. Despite what you think of them, they're getting a good response from the crowd. And I think even with Otis having him ditch the singlet, having him out there with like everything hanging out, don't call it out. Don't call it out.
No, especially when it's new and he's just starting to do that. Like, I like him like that, as weird as that may sound. I like that because that reminds me back of the throwback wrestlers that I grew up freaking love watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in wrestling, it works.
Yeah, but the one thing about having him when he does have the straps on is like kind of a Jerry Lawler reference, that old build to waiting until he takes his straps down.
Yeah, that part for sure, yes.
Yeah. Then, you know, business is picking up.
Yeah. So Rude and Ziggler won tonight and retained. After that, we had The Miz. The Miz came out for Miz TV, where he was joined by Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, with Jesus, sorry, it's been a long day. With Jimmy Hart, Hogan out there with Jimmy Hart. Did Hart say anything tonight?
Yeah, Hulk. Yeah, Hulk.
I'm on a megaphone, not a mic, on a megaphone.
On a megaphone, yes. They came out of the Miz. Flair giving Hogan some shit.
I gotta do a sidebar. I've got to do a sidebar. Yeah. All right, so I was at this benefit event representing TNA at the time. It was a Universal Studio event, and we were supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there with my wife, to help raise money for forget what the charity event was for. It was a big to-do, black tie event, and TNA, for whatever random reason, had Jimmy Hart go there too. He was with us at the time, and I sat next to him. Don't put these up. Give me a second.
Okay, sorry.
Concentrate on this one. And so I had to get up and talk, and he came up there with me. Like, he wasn't supposed. Nobody told me he was supposed to go up there. He came up there with me, and like as we're like getting off stage and going in the back before the next person would come get us and then bring us back to our dinner table. It's just like a 10-minute wait. I don't know why, but there was. And I'm back there with him and my wife. And he was going like an overdrive about how, like, yeah, man, we gotta get you out of TNA. You're a monster. You got your whole future in front of you. You're the future of this business. We gotta get you. I gotta get you back in WWE. I'm gonna make a few calls. Like, he was going to book himself as my manager, and like this was 1988. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got to leave this territory and go on to the next one now. I swear to God, he's not, and he wasn't my manager. He's the mouth of the South, this legend who I love, but it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest, most carny thing ever.
Oh, Daddy, I see blueprint. I see a lot of potential in you. Jimmy Hart's going to take you to the promised land.
Like I was 19 or 20. Yeah. Like, we're talking, this is like I want to say 2014. You know what I mean? It's funny.
You should have just been like, well, sign me up, man.
No, it's just like we're about to leave this territory and like turn our backs on the territory. It's so funny.
Could have got him to, be like, but here's the deal. I want to re-record Land of 1,000 Dances with you and everyone else we can get together.
Yes, I almost broke that record. I listened to it so many times.
I've been watching a lot of old 80s Night Flight. You can get those online, the old late night music video program. And I swear, every time that comes up on a video on there, like, I pop. That and the Super Bowl Shuffle are like my high point.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Anyhow, so tonight with Flair out there, Flair talking a little trash at Hogan giving it back, and they announced, instead of having one more match, which I can't believe the fans were chanting for.
Yeah, well, one more match after let's not gloss over this. One more match after Hogan and Flair had the geriatric walkthrough of a match. I'm gonna like Flair hits the ropes, Hogan gets ready to punch, they pause, Flair does the begging and backs up. It was literally like how football teams do a walkthrough in a hotel ballroom of just where everybody needs to be lined up. That's what this fucking was the walkthrough of the 70-year-olds and let's go home, brother. Continue. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so they did that, and The Miz announced that Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia, October 31st, getting that KSA payday. It's going to be Team Flair versus Team Hogan in a 5-versus-5 match 3 weeks before Survivor Series.
Okay, so for Survivor Series purposes and the thrill of seeing people team up, maybe I could kind of see the correlation, but nobody cares. Like, Team Flair wins or Team Hogan wins. They don't care.
Well, plus remember this, Glenn. The draft is still a week away. So these teams, because it's a merged Raw and SmackDown show in Saudi Arabia, it's a spot show. This is going to be independent of anything that's going on storyline wise. Yeah. The only consistency is you're going to have heels. It looks like Flair is going to be the heel and Hogan's going to have the face team. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, look, it doesn't matter at the end of the day at all.
Wait, real quick, Justin. When's the draft?
Next week.
That'll be before the debut season premiere of SmackDown?
No, SmackDown season premiere is Friday, and then the draft
week 2.
will be the following Friday. and Monday.
Do you think they should have done it beforehand or no?
Nah, because you need to have the blurred lines that put everybody you want on this Friday premiere, and then separate them for, I mean, hell, this show's gonna be so occupied with Austin, Rock. I mean, all the big names they have announced. So
I'm going into Fox here in Florida. Those of you live in Florida, 2 days of Fox 35. I'm going to be previewing SmackDown for WWE.
Really?
Very cool. Very
Nice.
cool.
When's that going to be on?
I don't know yet. They're still going to let me know when I got to be in there in the morning on Friday.
Got to parlay this into
this morning for something different. They
Fox is all in. To
oh my
borrow
God, that's all they talked about. Like, we're there to talk about like serious business about something going on in my city, and like that's all they would talk about.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
Huge, and they're treating it like when you talk about like your favorite football team in the Super Bowl that's coming up next week. Maybe, hey, what are your plans? What are your family doing? I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating. That's how the whole place was. They're really excited about this.
and this feels bigger and more legitimate than ever before. This is bigger than
feel more legitimate than ever before.
Yeah,
it does.
because
Like
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were on Letterman, but this is like the news is doing this.
Dead serious, guys. We're not underselling this. This is exactly what I'm telling you. It's huge. Huge.
Yeah.
How long is my question though? How long until it becomes? Oh, I knew that's what it was.
Depends on the ratings.
Okay.
If they pull the same numbers that they pull SmackDown on USA on Fox ain't going to be promoting it as much or as heavily.
I'm honestly excited to talk to mainstream fans that don't watch wrestling at all and try to sell them into why they should be watching it. This isn't your grandpa's wrestling anymore. This is the most athletic, dynamic wrestling you guys have ever seen because you haven't watched it in so many years.
Yeah, it's true. I thought it was interesting that Rollins is going to be a captain of one of the teams. Orton's going to be a captain of Flair's team. Makes me wonder if Rollins is going to be Universal Champion in Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Dumb question. Oh.
Because you just took out.
You guys just witnessed the air bubbles going off and. Yeah, the hamster on the wheel.
That just eliminated a Universal title match.
Although he could have 2 matches on the card.
No, he's not.
Or Bray Wyatt blows up the whole building. Right? He's got to do something crazy. It can't
in Saudi Arabia.
No, but
we'll get there. Saudi Arabia is not ready for Ric Flair with a live mic, by the way. Phoenix could barely contain him tonight.
Ric Flair's going to cause an international incident in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, like the Miz was trying to like wrangle Flair to the, they're hitting Randy Orton's music faster than Flair's cueing him. I mean, it was all over the place. This is going to be.
Chad Shaw, you're supposed to get it out of your memory banks. That did not.
Yeah. It is kind of weird that this exact scenario happened at TNA.
It did, and it was supposed to get everybody over that was associated with it. No, it didn't. They just got those 2 more over.
We'll see what happens. I'm sure they're going to get paid very well.
Yes or no at the show in Saudi? Does Hogan and Flair have any physical contact? They do any of the lightest? Yeah. All right.
There's a
like even a big boot like.
I would like to think, Rick doesn't back bump from it. Instead, he takes it and eats it through the ropes.
Yeah, because Hogan can't do the leg drop because of his hip. So he's right. Yeah. No,
but he could get a boot up. I'm predicting to here.
Or he could do the Flair could chop. Hogan does the U and then punch.
Hulks
right?
Up. Hulks up. Yeah. They'll go crazy. If he hulks up, they'll go crazy.
Hell yeah.
I would.
So we had Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton in a preview of this match up tonight, and Rusev interfered. It was a whole thing. Didn't really happen. Corbin came out. Yeah. This was a very light on wrestling night, Matt. For a season premiere, didn't it seem like more shenanigans and antics than actual storytelling or wrestling tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. Raw's not a wrestling show. They were antics and story first. Second. You want your wrestling first? Go to Wednesday night NXT.
Yeah, seriously. Backstage, Rusev was interviewed, asked where Lana was. No answer to that. And then Rusev calling out Seth for a Universal title match that would close the show. Then we had Authors of Pain promo this tonight. Now,
you didn't like it?
No, this is not in English. This was beautifully written. This promo, if you read the words and got over the fact that it was not in English and read the way they did it, and they kept talking about violence and I think this was the best written promo that I can recall in the WWE.
What do you mean by written? The fact the words were on the screen? What do you
The
mean?
writing, the way that they did that progression, I would have to look for the quote, but the way they started talking about living by the sword, dying by the sword, and what that means, violence, and talking about how you get a taste for it, addicted to it. It was very well written. I'm just talking the composition of it. It was I'm going to use this term. I'm going to say it was lovely how it was written. It was beautifully written.
Them speaking in the other language, a different language, works.
Yeah.
It works for them. So far it has.
But I thought tonight, I don't know if it would have worked as well in English. I think reading it and with their inflection, I just thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
So far, I think have been really good. This was the best.
I'm so nervous about when they come back and start wrestling again, how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, can you imagine when they face Heavy Machinery? Just what that match is going to be like.
They need to gut them. I'm sorry. I'm all in on those guys. Those guys look like death walkers.
Yeah.
To me, they do. I think the stuff with the shenanigans they had to go through, because I did like what's his name as their manager, Drake. So I'm a big Drake Maverick fan. I think he's entertaining as hell. But for some reason, WWE with bigger guys, if you're not like shredded or whatnot, and you have a little bit of weight on you, you're automatically thrown into some sort of comedy character bit by mistake or on purpose.
Speaking of Drake, do we even notice season premiere of Raw? No 24/7 title.
Ooh, that is interesting. I wonder if Fox wants that.
I wonder if Fox and USA don't want it. I don't know.
You know what I hope happens in this draft? I hope the comedy tag team division is on one brand and the serious tag team division is on another.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like 4, 5, 6. There's teams. There's even more. There's teams that we don't see on TV that are comedy. The B team, that's comedy.
Yeah. Just put all that stuff maybe on Raw, maybe the serious stuff on SmackDown.
Because they do have some serious tag teams that are freaking amazing. I've been dying to see what would happen. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, first of all, had singles match against each other, and then what they'd look like as a tag team. My whole time in TNA, I swear to you, that's all I would say is like, God dang, you're like the brunette version of Dolph Ziggler. I swear to God, or Nick Nemeth. I used to tell Bobby that all the time. It's uncanny, their mechanics.
Then we got tonight the Viking Raiders versus Gallows and Anderson. And again, this would have been fine and serious, but that LARPing comment, they called out the fact that, again, it's one thing for us to say the Viking Raiders look silly. Commentary can't, that's when you become the Ascension. When commentary starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell they meant at first, but obviously it wasn't a compliment, you could tell. You can't do that. I don't get the point of that. Hopefully he was chastised for it. I would like to hope.
Tonight, I mean, this was before it started picking up. I mean, we'll talk about when I thought the commentary actually was excellent for one particular match. The Viking Raiders got this win. After this, we saw the recap of what happened.
It's a big win, by the way, Cooey.
Oh, yeah, Gallows and Anderson.
No, that's a big win for them.
Yeah. They're on the right track. I mean, again, this is someone that, regardless of whether you've been on board with it tonight, this was just bad what commentary said, because I think this delegitimizes some of the actual momentum they have.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing, like even saying they're not LARPers, like that's a weird sort of backhanded compliment to say to someone. I don't know. It's just strange to me. Like it's still to be like, oh, well, you're clearly not this. Still is kind of like, oh, now you're making me think of it. Now I'm thinking of LARPing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just bad. So we saw a recap what happened. Cesaro was backstage, interrupted by Ricochet, talking about size a lot. This sounded like a Blue Chew ad, which led to Ricochet versus Cesaro. What is up with Cesaro wrestling in capri pants?
Poor dude's trying anything right now. I mean, what do you do? I'm not going to knock his ass up for trying stuff, that's new stuff.
Yeah.
That's assuming he's trying it and somebody else didn't think it was a good idea.
Okay. If someone else did, they need to be fired. And they also need to be fired because this guy needs to be a semi-main event act by now. A perennial one at that.
I don't even know what this means, Phil.
Seems the guy. Hope his ex-girlfriend.
I'm just like,
why, Glenn? You put that up on purpose because that's Glenn's way of shaming you all for trying to make fun of him. This is what's going to happen because he's going to sick me on that comment because he knows I'd eat it alive.
someone earlier said it was like a discount Kevin Owens.
What is
like,
so bad about helping your? Hang on, what's so bad about helping your ex-girlfriend move?
Well, maybe I'm helping her move out because we broke up, and I'm like, you need to get your shit and get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm going to help you move.
I know he's buying that. You would buy her new boyfriend who totally stole her from you lunch on top of it. You're a nice guy, Glenn.
I'm just not even getting into all this. I share way too much on this podcast. We're not going to tell the story.
You would buy her new boyfriend a subscription to Blue Chew and say, "Here you go, my friend. I hope you do it well."
I'm just going to play my role tonight. So anyhow, discount Kevin Owens. I'll go with that. Before it was Fat Finn Balor. I feel like now this is a step down with discount Kevin Owens.
When were you called discount Kevin Owens?
Tonight, earlier in the chat.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. It's all fine. It's all fine. Anyhow, so Ricochet versus Cesaro. Ricochet picked up a win here. Why are these guys wrestling? They're great, but why are they wrestling?
Nobody else. Ricochet is a star and he needs a win. I don't know. I like watching him wrestle though.
Yeah.
Win.
Something.
Are we that spoiled though now that every match has to be pay-per-view worthy now? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, there are worse matches. I could think of a lot of worse tonight, but
we're always saying people need to get wins.
But let's take it back to what Cesaro and Sheamus did. Let's do it a best of 7 series. Let's give it stakes. Winner gets shot.
I want to see those 2 in a 7-match series match.
They were already in a 7-man series.
I know.
Or a 7-match series.
Do you remember how annoying that was when we were saying, hold up here, this guy's new and he's trading victories with freaking Cesaro at this point? Come on.
Yeah, I don't
know.
No
one was buying that back then. We're like, oh, remember we were like Raj, like, oh, I like this new Cesaro push.
I mean, Ricochet had the U.S. title. I feel like it's not a step down in terms of matches.
I forgot that he did, honestly.
Yeah. It's not a step down in terms of match quality. It is a step down in terms of placement on the card, importance in the show. If you don't have a storyline, I think you're the first thing that gets cut from the show because you're just there to fill time.
But there should be wrestlers that are above all of that and need to be featured.
Yeah.
Or without an angle. I mean, I don't know. I think he's one of them. I want to see him on my TV every week wrestling for that.
At this point, Cesaro would fit better in NXT UK or NXT or just.
That's a damn shame.
No, I agree.
I didn't even like Cesaro with the bar. I'll be honest. I didn't like him there either. I thought even then he was too good for that.
Yeah.
Listen, he did. I keep saying this. I'm harping on it, but that matchmaking match with star-making match versus John Cena was enough, and then some to say, here you go. Here's the keys to being a main eventer or semi-main event act. You're now penciled in going forward.
And like Chris Mont's saying about Ricochet, hopefully he gets a push on SmackDown. Great platform for him. New fans will be amazed. I think it's the promo, but I think it's the promo ability. We've said this. What'd you say, Justin?
Okay, then pull it back. Pull back his promo until he's more ready. Fine. Yeah. We don't want to see him talk. I mean, I'm not.
What did I say about Cesaro?
No, about Ricochet.
Ricochet's promos.
Oh, Ricochet. I said he looks like a superhero, sounds like a stuntman.
Yeah. It's a problem.
I know.
Fox.
Do you hear humble, Justin? Because he knows that's a good line.
It's a great line.
I'll say it again.
I woke up out of bed and farted and said it.
Because if you look at who's showing up in these Fox promos and whatnot, Fox cares about more than anything. They don't care about athletes. They care about TV characters you want to tune in to watch every week. And part of that is your ability to talk.
Okay, but he looks very much so to me like a superhero.
Yeah.
His entrance, what he does in that ring. Come on.
Oh, I think he's one of the best, but his promos are what's holding him back.
Yes.
New Firefly Funhouse tonight, and we kept getting these teases through Fox programming, through USA programming. Have you guys seen these? Almost little subliminal messages.
No.
Yeah, there's a great I saw it live, and there's a great video of a girl on Twitter who obviously is not a wrestling fan, and she was watching Sunday Night Football last night on NBC, and NBC, mind you, in the WWE family here.
Yeah.
And they ran a commercial during Sunday Night Football promoting the season premiere of Raw. And this was all the normal, imagery, Seth Rollins, The Miz, blah, 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 blah. And then right as it closed and it said Monday Night Raw, season premiere, the date, the time, then it went to that creepy horror music and it flashed The Fiend really quick on the screen. And then the screen went black and then they went to the next thing. And I called it myself. I thought I heard it. I rewinded my DVR, watched it. There's a girl on Twitter, her tweet is going viral, where she is filming her TV, freaked out, like, what is this? What was that scary monster on my TV? And obviously, it's going viral. Wrestling fans have filled her in, but it worked. It grabbed the attention of the mainstream audience of, like, check this thing out in this show tomorrow night.
I gotta look it up. It went viral. WWE.
Yeah, I'll
everybody on it.
I'll message you a link. I'll find it.
So Rambling Rabbit, rest in peace. Bray Wyatt killed him tonight. I thought it was interesting that he talked about Seth Rollins being locked inside the cell with him, but saying that he'll always protect this place, or Wyatt said he'll always protect this place, and that he believed, and the way he said it with Rollins, he said he'll come back no matter what.
Rambling, the rabbit. No.
Wait, no, was Bray? No, I thought Bray was. Was Bray referring to Seth or to Bray in that? Because I'm rereading the thing. I thought he was referring to Seth, but the heel I thought was talking about like a heel turn, which was a clever play on words, perhaps foreshadowing something. The way he said it tonight. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. It's clever
because you butchered that entire thing, so I have no idea.
Well, because I'm reading the Wrestling Inc. recap, and now I'm wondering, did they get this right? I thought he was saying about Rollins, that Rollins heel come back no matter what. But now this is saying that he's saying it about Bray. The Fiend is already healed. That's not as cool. Chat room, did you pay attention to this? Oh, now saying I thought he was talking about healing Seth. This is what's cool about the Firefly Funhouse, that we're analyzing this shit.
That's true. I agree with that. That's true. You're right. Everything feels very open-ended with it. Yeah.
Like it's a goddamn puzzle.
Yeah, which is different. We've never had to do that crap before, right?
Yeah.
It's like a really good movie.
That's what people are saying. Yeah, healing Seth.
Wow. Multiple people are saying that.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But this is the best storytelling going on in WWE right now. Certainly not what ended the show.
Yes.
U.S. title match: Cedric Alexander versus AJ Styles. What's his face? Vic Joseph killed it on this match tonight.
Yes,
at the end with that quick play-by-play when he was talking about it right up till the pin.
Good call. Good call, Glenn. Yes, he did. He absolutely did. This on paper would be an amazing match. It should have been, and it was. It was a good match. There's something with him I'm still not feeling.
With Cedric?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just don't feel him yet.
Yeah, I mean they're giving him. Well, okay, so we've argued about this before. I say he
would take it though.
Cedric needs to win some of these matches, right? It's been a while since he's won.
Yeah, and when he wins, it can't be considered a big upset. That's what happened last time. They were calling it an upset, and what this will mean for the trajectory of his career versus just he's supposed to win. He is on this level.
I think,
and Chris Mont, that goes to Vic's. Like I said, Vic's background. He's got a legit sports background. He can call play-by-play, and the way you saw that in the replay sequence. So, yeah,
I think it's always bad. I don't know if they were doing this earlier tonight, but I think it's a weird burial when commentary. Byron used to do this a lot. Graves would as well. Can you imagine what it would do for someone on the level of Cedric Alexander to pin AJ Styles? It's just like Yeah.
Yes.
If you're talking about can we imagine it, that sounds like it's not going to happen. Can you imagine living on the moon and being able to breathe in the moon's atmosphere? Like you'd have like weird moon gills instead of your lungs. Like, yeah, it's never going to happen. I guess I could imagine it, but it's never going to happen.
Well, folks, you just entered the craziness that is Glenn Rubenstein's mind, because that means that is something that's actually been in his head before. That was not just him freestyling and throwing that out.
I was just trying to think of something so far-fetched, but when they say that
in your head before, Glenn, admit it.
No, the Moon Gills was brand new.
Really?
It was impromptu. Yeah.
First time ever.
First time I've ever. I think it's the first time anyone's ever said Moon Gills. Someone Google that.
Big debut on Wrestling Inc.'s post Raw show podcast, folks. Moon Gills made its debut.
There. So I don't know that they were doing it tonight, but that's just a pet peeve of mine on commentary. Don't say, can you imagine if so-and-so ever won?
Yes, it's not like winning the lottery. No, it's not that big a deal. Like it's a 50-50 chance, we assume, before the match starts. At least we hope.
Could you imagine that before you did it? Speaking of, can you imagine? You're about to do a coin toss with someone. Could you imagine if it heads to heads and you called tails and it's heads? The exact opposite of what you called. What your life will be like to feel like such a loser who incorrectly guessed. It's like, dude, it's a 50-50 shot. Really, it's less than a roll of the dice.
I don't like it either. You're right.
Yeah. But tonight, this with the call on the finish of this match was absolutely fantastic, and this is where commentary really shined tonight.
Very major league. It was
new with the new changes. Thought it was great. But do you think they continue this feud between Cedric and AJ Styles?
They're still thinking that Cedric is getting over and getting this rub from AJ by having fantastic wrestling matches, which is very weird for WWE, because WWE for so many years says it's not just about, having a 5-star match or to placate the internet fans, because they're such a small little portion of the paying audience. Remember that used to be their big thing? They used to try to tell me when I was in WWE that the internet wrestling fans don't make up more than 5% of the paying audience. And I'm dead serious. The other wrestlers really believed it. And I remember going, there's no way. It can't be. It just can't be true. Because the fans I meet and talk to at the shows and stuff, they get they will talk to me about rumors and stuff like that, stuff that's not advertised on TV. Obviously, they're getting it from the internet, websites.
Yeah.
I remember like, wow, they really don't. They're out of touch.
It definitely used to be a smaller percentage, but now, one, it's snowballed into a much bigger one as more people have the internet and computers. But two, they've driven away everyone else.
This is what wrestlers, though, used to say when people would crap on their matches back when I was still wrestling.
Yeah. That's
the way I used to look at it. It's like, oh, dude, you're saying it because they shit on your match and they didn't like you. No, they're just 5%. That's the vocal minority. They don't count. I'm like, they're pretty loud in there. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins were backstage hyping. When are the Street Profits going to wrestle for the NXT Tag Team titles versus Undisputed Era on Wednesday on NXT?
Okay. So finally they're talking about themselves. That's a positive, right? Let's step in the right direction.
Yeah. Then Lacey Evans versus Natalia.
Lacey Evans. I mean, Natalia's sells great. Lacey Evans after the match nailed Natty with a punch to the throat.
Ooh.
Either she's clobbering people or she has the best working punch. I'm serious. Her punches are money.
I'm a Lacey fan, but go back and watch that one tonight, Matt, in slow motion. That didn't look like the working punch quite worked.
She straight up ate it. She stiffed her.
Well, I don't think she did it on purpose, but she just went for that right, for a stiff right, straight right, and she was trying to hit here, and she just nailed here.
Oh, yeah, go back and watch it.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
This is a good feud for Lacey to get some more TV time, some more ring work. I think Natalia's good to pair her with.
She needs to be on TV every week.
And I'm a Lacey fan. I'm not trying to pick on her, but it was pretty.
You are, but that's okay.
I am.
No big deal.
I'm not picking on her. No, watch it. I'm not.
Okay, so when this draft happens, when Becky goes to SmackDown, Sasha stays on Raw. Mm-hmm. Do you think Lacey is the first contender against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title?
How? Heel versus heel?
I think Sasha can flip it back in a heartbeat.
Glenn, you're the prophet of all things women wrestling. Are they doing another women's only show in October?
I don't know about that. Although I did see, I can't remember who suggested it. I would give credit if I could remember. Somebody suggested.
Show me.
Well, no. Suggested that because Thursday is October 31st, right? Thursday is Halloween in Saudi Arabia. That Friday, November 1st on Fox should be the all-women showcase show.
And why is that?
They're not going to be. They're not. How are they going to do that? How are they going to get from Saudi Arabia on Thursday to?
No. All women on Friday because they're doing Saudi Arabia.
Because the women won't be in Saudi Arabia.
Women won't be in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. Do we know is SmackDown definitely live on that Friday? Because I feel like I know they were trying to move the Saudi show for a while around because of the Fox Friday schedule.
I think it would be a mistake 4 weeks into the Fox deal to say, "Oh, we're giving you a pre-tape."
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do otherwise.
Well, I can't see them doing an entire SmackDown of all women. No, I just don't see that. I don't know.
In fact, maybe Queen of the Ring. Maybe that's when you do it.
I don't know. It's a valid scheduling question about what's going to happen then in Saudi Arabia on Thursday, because normally the Saudi show's on Friday. So
did Matt freeze?
He disappeared. I see black screen.
Okay, I tried taking him off and putting him back on. I thought he was just deep in thought for a second. I'll leave his place there so that way when he pops back on, we will see him. Oh man, they got to do something. I mean, the Saudi show. Here's where. Actually, man, I wish Matt was here to talk about this.
We'll just get him back on. We're live. Just everybody can take a quick second and get Matt back on.
Everybody take a sip of water. Take your time. Collect yourself. Collect your thoughts. Okay. Now take a deep breath. We're going to count it into 5. Hold it. And now release to a 5 count. Okay, there. You feel better? You feel relaxed? It's good? You're winding down? End of the day?
Where's Matt?
Where's Matt? I can only stall with breathing exercises for so long. I think that with the Saudi show, now this has happened where people, and I don't want to say this pejoratively, because I know you like when I say that, people have gotten their frustrations and their criticism and their outrage almost out of their system with the Saudi show, that I wonder this time, are people going to rally and voice their discontent with the WWE doing this show that presumably no women will be involved in?
Well, but at the end of the day, look, they don't release the WWE Network numbers, so we have no idea of what the past Saudi shows have done viewership-wise. But I don't think they've been bottom of the barrel. For as much social outcry as there might be from a political standpoint, people still are probably watching at the end of the day. And even let's say if there is a significant drop off, it doesn't change the dollar amount of what WWE is still getting for it. So like I don't want to say, because that's such an un-American thing to say, like such a non-democracy thing to say, of like, well, your voice isn't going to cause any change, or it hasn't up to this point, so don't speak your voice. No, obviously, always speak for what you care about. But my point is, like, they're going to do these Saudi shows, rightly, wrongly, agree, disagree, whatever, Thursday, Friday, whatever day, women, no women. Like we're none of our voices are not going to overcome $50 million or whatever the price tag is that they're getting. So it's again, I don't want to say like just be defeated about it, but it's the same point. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point,
although the Prince was on, I did not say that. The Prince was on 60 Minutes yesterday. I did watch that. They interviewed the Prince about his so-called, priorities to make I was trying to find the right words here, to progress the culture in the country.
I don't know. And someone's saying, why do you want to deny the Saudi fans? This has nothing to do with the Saudi fans.
Yeah. I mean, this is another. Yeah, I mean, the people, the Saudi Arabia people, they have a right to be entertained, and it's good
Absolutely.
that they have. This has nothing to do with them. It's just.
And Matt could talk about it because he has a whole different viewpoint just from a pure government stance and about associations and whatnot there. But we will table that until Matt is here, because we could talk about that more. Me, just even as a fan, I think it's shitty that here's this big payday show and the women don't get to be a part of it and partake in that. One, to showcase their talents on a global international stage, but two, just to have that payday.
But I do think that's going to change. I do think if they are locked into this decade-long entertainment agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I do think sooner than later, it won't be year 10. I do think sooner than later they are going to make cultural entertainment history, and we will see the women have a designated spot on the show. That will be that'll be a big deal. So I think that is coming sooner than later. Like I said, I don't think it's 9 years down the road. I think we're closer to that than far off.
We're closer to the year 2030 than we are to the year 2000.
Yes.
Actually, here's one that I always think about in terms of time, is that right now, from the year 2000 to right now, is the exact same amount of time as from the year 1981 to the year 2000.
I can mind trip you. How old are you, Glenn?
I am 43 years old.
All right, so that means you have lived 43 times on the day that is going to be on your tombstone of death. So if you're going to die on October 1st, it's October 1st right now where I'm at because it's past midnight. If you're going to die on October 1st, you've lived that for 43 years. And you've lived the day that you're going to die. How weird is that?
If I die tomorrow, this podcast is going to be like one of the most famous wrestling podcasts ever.
If you die tomorrow, Raj is stuck hosting.
That's true. Well, we don't have tomorrow. We're back Wednesday for this. Where's
Matt? What happened to Matt?
His Wi-Fi is down in his whole house, and he can't.
He's the mayor.
I know.
Shouldn't the city have like backup internet for him?
Yeah. You would think. So Lacey Evans won that match. After that, we had Paul Heyman doing what Paul Heyman does. What if Paul Heyman would have done at the intro, people would have said they would have hated this show, I think, and the way they used Brock Lesnar. Whereas Heyman just going on and on and on. Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar does. He's going to do it to Kofi Kingston on Friday, and there's nothing you could do. Blah, 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 blah. Which is fine.
Classic
I get
Paul,
that's a shtick.
Classic Paul Heyman. It's great.
Yes.
You didn't like this?
It had been a little while, like 2 weeks since he's done it. So maybe it was a little refreshing. A tad, a smidge. I like Paul. I think Paul is a very entertaining guy, but man, I don't know. I think with most wrestlers can't get away with going out there and just doing the same promo again and again and again. You got to change it up. And with Heyman, I don't feel like he changes it up nearly enough. I
don't think Paul has to. I think Paul Heyman cleverly works little things into his promos that are such that make you think that he is shooting when he's just using bold words. But when he uses Vince McMahon's name, and people usually don't get to use Vince's name in a promo, when he says this isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler. Spoiler is an internet taboo word. He just does the littlest things that he's not breaking the rules. He's just doing what nobody else does, and he's kind of made it his shtick, and it makes his promos seem edgier.
So Maria Kanellis was asked backstage about Rusev. Maria said Rusev is not the father of her baby, and he has enough to worry about with his issues at home. And then Maria walked off. Do you think they're abandoning this Maria angle right now, given what they...
Well, I don't know if they're abandoning it, but let's be real. She actually is pregnant.
Which makes it even better.
Well, it does, but it also means like they're up against a real biological clock of like she can't be on the road forever. She can't just sit in catering for 4 more months and wait until she's called upon for a payoff. She actually needs to be home, not on the road constantly, and seeing a doctor and getting ready to give a healthy birth to a healthy child. So I don't know what that actually means for what the plan is here of like
some remote pre-tapes, perhaps.
Like when
maybe stage childbirth.
Yeah, when she has her actual child, like it's like. Like what is happening? So I don't know. I'm not sure really what the plan is here. I mean, look, Paul Heyman's the creative director of RAW. He's known to be a big fan, legitimately, of Maria. It's not a coincidence that this whole Maria Jerry Springer storyline has took some priority and commitment since Paul Heyman's got more involved in creative. So I mean, so you got to think there's some plan here, or they just deviated from Maria and Mike Jerry Springer to Lana Rusev.
Yes. Sasha Banks took the mic after Maria walked off, cut a promo on Becky Lynch about Hell in a Cell. This was really light on building Hell in a Cell.
Again, because it's kind of everything's building like Friday Night SmackDown is what everything is building to right now. That's what the focus is. It's almost like they're making Hell in a Cell just sell itself.
In fact, there are 3 matches officially announced for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
3.
That's
Seth
it.
Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, and Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
Yeah, that's it.
Could you imagine if that's all it was? Just 3 matches the entire show.
Wow. They'll add more, but yeah, everything is literally building to Friday. Friday is Friday, and Hell in a Cell is almost a little bit of inconvenience.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Then Rusev versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I thought simply that The Fiend was going to interfere with this match, but oh no. Randy Orton, Baron Corbin came out and watched. They're going to represent Team Ric Flair, who's going to go against Team Hulk Hogan's Rusev and Rollins for the 10-man match at Crown Jewel.
And The Fiend doesn't travel in a limousine. The limousine.
Oh, that's right. We got the limo. Yes. Who is in the limo?
The Fiend's not traveling in a limo.
You never know.
No, The Fiend is not traveling in a limo.
I don't know. So Matt's just saying, I was going to tell him no worries for tonight.
Oh, is he done?
He's done because he can't.
Oh.
He's got no Wi-Fi. We'll see. If the Wi-Fi comes back, he can make a Fiend-like appearance at the end. It's possible. Anyhow, what does a limo usually signify in WWE? We saw the tease of the limo driving backstage. Usually that means Vince McMahon is showing up. A legend of some sort is arriving.
Well, traditionally what it means is the limo is showing up. Who's here? And then, we have this match go on, and you already see Orton and Corbin on the stage. You got Lawler saying he feels the Fiend's presence. Again, the Fiend's not riding the limo, so that it did kind of leave that kind of left this blank that needed to be filled in. It was very classic, and it worked. And then we come to find out it was
Bobby Lashley. First off, I was going to say this is perhaps the most the biggest assumption the WWE has ever made for an end of show swerve return before a pay-per-view, with Bobby Lashley showing up and distracting the match. I was like, oh, they've horribly misread. And even on commentary, Bobby Lashley, we haven't seen him in months. I feel like he's been gone for like 6 weeks. It hasn't been that long.
No, it's been months.
Okay. Still, commentary was trying to sell it, but were you popping like, oh my God, Bobby Lashley's back?
I wasn't popping for Bobby, but I knew, okay, Bobby's walking out. Rusev is looking at him. Seth Rollins is down, and I kind of knew what must be coming next, especially because they gave us that little
about what's up
teaser earlier. What's up with so I was my attention was there. You know what I mean?
Could have been CM Punk, as LA 561 saying. Could have been Batista. Could have been John Cena. Could have been Triple H. Vince McMahon himself there at the season premiere to come out and give us some big swerve to go home with.
Vince was really the only actual prediction I had prior to Bobby coming out. Vince was the only one. I was like, even though Vince doesn't want to be seen on TV, Vince knows and they always push it. That Vince always, a lot of times, grabs attention, grabs a rating. So maybe, but I couldn't figure out what he would be doing.
Yes, John Morrison, as people in the chat are guessing.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Ted Turner. Oh my God, can you imagine if Ted Turner would have shown up tonight at the end? Oh, how the internet would have been talking. But no, Bobby Lashley showed up, and who was joining him? Lana, who came out, and that was not stage kissing. They were full on getting it on there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. First off, as performers, we all know Lana is legitimately married to Rusev. Okay, they are married. If you follow their social media, they're married. They're still happily together. They've been on a reality show. This is not like a Matt Hardy, Lita Edge situation where you are hearing that there is actually legit turmoil. So, as performers, you have to tell, and I'm saying you, meaning if you're Vince or any kind of producer of the show, you have to tell Lashley and Lana. You can't just go out there and peck of a cheek, just rub his muscles,
Wait,
smile.
time out. Justin, I want you to do this as Vince coaching Bobby and Lana of what they're going to do out there in this segment tonight.
Now, you can't go out there and be soft. You can't be cutesy wootsy. You can't just give him a pass on it, a little peck on the cheek kiss. Lana, you gotta grab his big, muscular, black head, and you just gotta lay it in there with the tongue, and just and Bobby, you just gotta give it to her. Give it to her. And Lana, kick. Here, let me show you. Come here, Bobby. Kick the leg. Kick the leg. Kick the leg.
I don't think Vince is acting out Lana's part to Bobby as he coaches through the segment.
They had to go for it. You can't just half-ass it. They had to go for it, and they did. But what the hell is Rusev doing? Why is he like? There's a dude making out with your wife, and why isn't he charging the ring? Unless
breathe, man.
Unless we're gonna come to find out that like Rusev cheated on Lana, or that he initiated a split, and so he's not surprised that she's making out with Bobby Lashley. Like that was what kind of bothered me. Is like, why is Rusev not
surprisingly chill about this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, one, what's happening with the 205 Live announce team, and could Aiden English be coming back alongside Rusev?
I don't know. Aiden. I don't know. 205. I don't know. You still have Tom Phillips and Byron Saxon that are out there that we have to figure out where they're going. So I don't know. But I don't think Aiden English is jumping in on this. If that's what you mean. This was again. Props to Lashley and Lana. This. I don't know where it's going. I'm not going to poo-poo it right now. I'm going to see what happens. This was again very kind of like attitude shock value. They're doing a lot of like, paternity test and marriage. I don't know, but they committed to it. I'll give them that. Bobby Lashley and Lana went 100%. So hey, that's pretty intense. Pot committed. They were pot committed, as is WWE The Fiend, because they had one last chance, Glenn.
Yes, and The Fiend showed up at the end and freaked out Seth Rollins.
And I'm a Fiend fan. I want to see him leave Hell in a Cell as a champion. But I'm just saying, if you're looking at this evenly here, they had one more chance. Right now, Seth Rollins couldn't beat The Fiend in a staring contest. He hasn't done anything. He had one last chance to get one little upper hand on the go-home show. Not happening. And at this point, they are pot freaking committed. The only way they can leave this poker game without Bray Wyatt cashing in, becoming the Universal Champion, is unless lightning strikes the casino and the casino sets blaze, which would be the equivalent of the Undertaker showing up and disrupting the whole match. Otherwise, they are pot committed. The Fiend has to be your new Universal Champion.
Yeah, I don't know how they get out of this. If the Fiend loses at Hell in a Cell, this is just going to be.
If he loses, you are going to see a very angry Justin LaBar Sunday night. If he loses with anything other than an Undertaker interference.
That's it. Would be pretty cool way to go. And that at Hell in a Cell, I'm trying to think. So with 3 matches announced, is this we'll see what happens Friday, but as this stands, this could be the least built pay-per-view. Certainly the least built major name pay-per-view in WWE history.
Well, it depends on how you define least built, because in fairness, there is a lot of build to the Fiend Seth Rollins match in terms of the buzz and just in the fact that maybe it's kind of quick for the Fiend. The Dan O'Brien, Roman Reigns versus Rowan Harper. This has been a storyline that's been the whodunnit that's been building since the start of the summer. So it depends. So by quantity of matches, it's least build, but actually, by the quantity of matches, he has least build. But by the stories that are actually out there, the women, a lot of history there. For what is announced, there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of history there. It's just they're building. We're gonna have a new champion on Friday. Brock Lesnar's gonna become new champion on Friday. So
I'm hoping he's not. I'm hoping we're really surprised.
It's like 2 payoff pay-per-views in 3 days. Think of SmackDown as a pay-per-view. Think of it as a pay-per-view in the sense of it's a payoff. There are 2 payoff shows in 3 days.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, and we've got Wednesday night AEW NXT. Tomorrow, so weird not to have SmackDown on a Tuesday.
Come join me in Pittsburgh, viewing party, AEW NXT, 1311 bar, Southside.
Now, did you come up with any AEW themed cocktails?
There's no AEW themed cocktails. There's, again, $2.50 domestic bottles, $7 pitchers, however you want them, Captain Morgan or Smirnoff Vodka, 1311 bar. This Wednesday night, the sound will be on AEW. We'll have both shows on the TVs. It's going to be fun.
Now, how does this work when advertising drink specials for an event?
Yes.
Is the idea that, like, well, somebody on their own might go, I don't know if I want to go watch AEW in a bar. I'm fine to stay at home. Oh, Captain Morgan pitchers.
Well, the idea is, so 1311 bar is literally on a strip called East Carson Street on the south side of 29 blocks of bars. So there's a lot of bars that you could go to and potentially say, hey, can you just put the show on a TV? There's no local sports of Pittsburgh going on. So the idea is like, hey, you could, of course, watch AEW and NXT at your house, of course. We're asking you to come out somewhere else. And if you're going to come out, why not get the cheapest, but most attractive drink specialty you're going to find in a public place? Watch wrestling with other friends, with other people that are wrestling fans. That makes it interesting. So you're not just sitting by yourself. Obviously, use an Uber, use a Lyft, use a DD. Be smart about it, but have fun. That's the idea. It's we want to make it so you're not coming out paying crazy city prices. You're coming out and just paying the cheapest price possible for a good product and having fun.
Just on we want a special shot committed. I want you to do just a row like 3 shots for $5.
All right.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be top shelf.
But no need for that, right?
Yeah, no need for that. Just shot committed.
Bang 'em. Shot committed. I love it.
One at a time. Let's see. What else do we got? Anything else you want to hit quickly before we wrap this up?
Yeah, real quickly. We'll do some news real quick. Rick Bognar passed away, best known as the fake Razor Ramon in 1996 when they had the fake Razor and Diesel. So rest in peace to him. Of course, The Rock was advertising officially confirmed today that he will be at SmackDown this Friday. That was kind of the last missing piece. Was like, SmackDown. That's The Rock show. It's the phrase that he coined. Probably schedule and everything prohibiting, but he's going to be there this Friday, so that's a big deal. That means you're going to have The Rock. That means you're going to have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Did they advertise The Undertaker? I don't remember, but I know they've advertised Austin.
And what about
Rock.
Cena? Tonight there was an announcement about him doing a charity drive, but no announcement about SmackDown.
Yeah, no. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they're still leaving some surprises in the bag. But The Rock will be at SmackDown this Friday in LA. Fitting, it's his hometown now, so that's a big deal. And then some CM Punk news, both work-wise and legal-wise. Work-wise, this came out a few days ago, but Wrestling Observer reporting that CM Punk did go to LA and do some screen testing for the new studio show that Fox is going to do about WWE programming. Now, mind you, this would be if CM Punk did this would be him working for Fox, not WWE. But apparently, he screen tested for the WWE Backstage show on FS1 with Renee Young and with Booker T.
Wow!
So again, this would be him working for Fox, not WWE. And the report goes on from Wrestling Observer Radio that while WWE may not be crazy about having Punk on a show talking about their programming, given the history, this would keep him away from AEW if he was to do this. So there's a lot of thoughts here. And then on the legal side of things, CM Punk, of course, was embroiled in a legal battle with his former best friend, Colt Cabana. PW Insider reported Colt and CM Punk have settled their lawsuit with prejudice, which I believe legally translates into they can't try to sue each other again because of the same under the same context and such. And some tweets went on. You can read the whole story in Wrestling Inc. But basically, Punk said that he would have helped Colt Cabana if Colt would have just asked him. Basically accuses Colt of extorting him, taking the legal road and taking the legal action, and even makes a jab at Colt Cabana at one point to these fans on Twitter saying, good luck and have fun contributing to his Woe Is Me GoFundMe account, basically insinuating that Colt is going to need money and he's going to, so this was again, another story that kind of took the Wrestling Inc. website by storm here today. CM Punk back in the news.
I'm just watching this animated GIF replay of Lana and Bobby, and just the look on Rusev's face, just kind of like, again, Jesus Christ, this happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
I mean, it's very funny. Yeah. Anyhow, Wednesday night, we'll be back here. Me, Matt Morgan, Raj Giri, to talk all about AEW and NXT. Friday night, SmackDown Live. SmackDown on Fox. The start of a new era. Thank you for joining us tonight. Matt Morgan is apologizing for not being able to come at the very end, but his Wi-Fi is down. So Matt will join us on Wednesday. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and we will catch you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.